This is exactly how Nigel Nolin, a real estate agent in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, got 2 listings and 1 house sold in 60 days with YouTube ads inside our program, Listing Accelerator. What's going on, Nigel?
Well, it's cold, but we're still working.
Yeah, fellow Canadian, eh? So can you start by like introducing yourself a little bit? Like, who are you? How long have you been an agent for? How many like agents you got on your team? Describe a little bit like, what you guys do, how you work and stuff like that.
For sure. So I've been licensed for just over 8 years. One of the owners at our brokerage of 2. We typically do over 100 million a year in gross commission income within our team. And I specialize in helping realtors do twice as many transactions as they currently do within 12 months.
Awesome. Do you remember like, first of all, how did you like find out about me or like my team and I? Like, how did we like first meet? Do you remember?
That's a good question. On the internet for sure. And probably it could have been an ad or something organic I saw, and I kind of inquired and saw there was quite a bit of proof of what you guys were doing from the get-go, and set up a meeting and decided to take the plunge. And I can definitely say it was a good decision. And, we're seeing some of the results we were hoping to see.
Yeah, I think it was like through an Instagram ad, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That rings the bell, or Instagram rings the bell. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we like chatted back on Instagram DMs back and forth, set up a call. So yeah, then you joined us, like you said. So why would like someone like you join us in the first place? Obviously, you guys are already super successful. Why would you like join something like this to try to even be like more successful? If that makes sense.
It does, yeah. We're always looking to learn and grow. Marketing's always been very interesting to me, really a hobby of mine or a passion of mine. And so, yeah, we're always looking at different opportunities, first of all. And second of all, YouTube was very intriguing, specifically because of the video aspect and just being able to connect with people on a different level in regards to that. And yeah, that would be why.
Makes sense. Okay, so just keep growing the company. You always like, we're interested in marketing and trying to like find ways to like help with the marketing efforts you're already doing and turbocharge your results basically.
Yeah, and impact more people, help more people, whether it be buyers, sellers, sure, but also realtors. It's probably one of the best feelings when you can take somebody who's struggling or who has big goals and help them accomplish those.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the process. So far, in the first like 2 months working together, so we got like actually like 2 listings, right? Like that came from YouTube ads. And then one of these listings sold, the other one, you guys are working on it. And you said like, the first listing that you guys sold might have been also double-ended, right?
Yeah. I should have double checked on that, but yeah, I think it was, if my memory serves me correctly.
Okay, cool. So let's go back. How like did we accomplish this? Like, can you like just briefly explain like the whole process from like A to Z? How did like these 2 sellers end up like signing a contract with you guys in the first place?
So it was a properly structured ad from start to finish, or there's some psychology involved in that, and in just providing value and getting people to want that value. Part of that, is having the right hook, having the right body, and then providing some value through, one of the ways is through like an ebook, right? Basically, the 10 best ways to increase the value of your home. And that was the value proposition that people wanted. We got it to them. There was some automations involved there, and then also like speed to lead with the realtor, getting in touch, and just providing a lot of value, so that what we found, most of the leads that were coming in that we were contacting, they were pretty warm leads, and that they were expecting to hear from us. And we could almost take the approach like we already had them as a client, or like we had the business, or we're getting the business, versus what do you know about us? Do you want to work with us? It was more like, here's what you asked for, here's what we're delivering, and it sounds like you're thinking about selling your home, and then go from there. So the leads were definitely like higher quality than your average digital marketing or internet lead.
Right. And can you explain like to people watching this, like, why do you think is that? Just like for your own like perspective, because obviously I know this myself because I do this all the time. When I tell people this, hey, like on YouTube ads and what we do, like, is like we get fewer leads but higher quality leads. Like they don't believe me, right? So like once you've like actually done that yourself and you've seen it firsthand, like, can you explain first of all, why do you think that happens, and just talk a bit more like how can like others can accomplish this?
For sure. So, I mean, if I'd be honest, it's the whole system, that you guys teach and that we then implement correctly that does it. It's not necessarily one thing. You could have the best hook in the world, but if you're not delivering the value or getting in touch with people relatively quickly, it's probably not going to work. But like, that's the first step, right? Is getting people to want to receive the value from you. You deliver the value, and then you take it to the next step, getting that appointment booked as soon as you can, whether it's ideally in-person consultation, if not like a phone appointment. And actually, a lot of people, a fair amount of the leads we're booking directly into our calendar, because that's one of the things in the funnel, right? Is that they get the value proposition being the ebook, and then immediately they have an opportunity to book into our calendar to talk more. And a solid amount of those people were doing that and are doing that. And then we have an opportunity to like have the appointment and take the relationship to the next level. And so it really is like the whole system that you guys have in place that helps accomplish that, is what I would say. And then of course, like, you get the listing consultation, let's say, right? I mean, the thing is, most realtors, if they have any experience or a decent amount of experience, they can close those consultations most of the time, but the challenge is getting those, right?
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I could agree more. It's like basically not just one thing. I get asked all the time, what's like the magic, like the magic bullet, or like your secret sauce. There's no like such thing as just one thing that would like change your entire business. It's just like multiple things you need in place to make everything work. One thing we've worked together so far is like identifying where's like the bottlenecks, like where's like, is it breaking in the whole funnel, and just fixing this first. And then once this is fixed, looking at the second thing that could be improved, like the second thing that's like leaking the most, if that makes sense. And then fixing that, and then going to like the next, and so on and so on. So yeah, that's 100% accurate. Now, I'd also be curious to know, like, have you found people booking appointments in your calendar helps with the dynamic when they are the one booking a call with you, instead of you trying to call them, chase them, when they're the one directly booking the time? Is it like easier to like, book a listing appointment, convert them? What's your opinion on this?
100%. It's quite easy, actually, I find. High majority of the time, like you said, they're booking with us. It would be somewhat similar to a friend or a previous client referring somebody and them contacting us to see when it works to talk about selling their home, or somebody who maybe clicks through our website on a home evaluation form because they, want to sell their home. And that's not happening all the time. I mean, websites, I think, used to be huge, and I think they're less and less huge now with landing pages and funnels. People just want information quicker. They don't want to have to go through some super complex website. But that's what I could almost compare it to, is those types of high quality appointments.
Nice. So let's talk about like the speed to lead, because that's something really important that you guys really dialed in, that a lot of people will miss out on. They get leads, they don't get back to them quickly enough, and then leads like gone. They like already listed, or they're not interested anymore. So how can you guys like get back to leads as quickly as you guys are currently doing? Because that's a big part of your success, right?
For sure. Well, I mean, I think having the automation set up, which is a part of the program, is important, because whether those people respond all the time immediately or not, like they see that like we're getting back to them immediately and we want to help. But then for most people, that's not enough. They didn't book into our calendar. Just picking up the phone and calling and, basically saying, we saw that you filled out our YouTube ad, and, we sent over the information. Did you get it? What'd you think? Sounds like you're looking to sell, where are you at in the process, blah, blah, blah. But sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, just wondering, like, how do you guys get speed to lead? Like, how do you not miss a lead? So you said like automation is part of it, right?
That's part of it. And then what I would say is like we do have a team. So the people that are involved with it are wanting to grow their business, are excited to contact these people. That's important. Like, if you're not wanting to grow your business, you're not like excited to do more business, or you don't really love what you do, then it might not work, right? You gotta really, want to do it. And, and then just take on what you can chew, basically, right? So, we have right now 3 like very active and hungry realtors that want to, and therefore are getting back to people quickly. Yeah, like they're notified, through the CRM, immediately, which helps. They don't have to guess when they have to follow up with somebody they know. And if they're busy, right, we're getting it to somebody else, sort of thing. So I guess if you're an individual agent, I think you want to probably not have 100 leads coming in a day that you can't attend to, right? Or even 10 a day might be too much, right? Maybe your budget $1,000 a month instead of 3,000, and you can go from doing 1 or 2 deals a month to 3 or 4 or 5, and that's huge, right? You're doubling your GCI from it, and it definitely does help when the quality is up there with the lead, your percentages climb and it's more fun.
Yeah, great point. Need to have like passion, be motivated, and like not take on too many leads. That's why we focus on higher intent leads, higher quality leads, but less quantity. So quality over quantity with our YouTube ads approach. So curious to know, because like a lot of realtors have like tried different marketing approach, like different lead gen companies before. It didn't really work out for them. They've been burned before, which I understand because I've been burned as well by other companies and lead providers, especially when you're like, it's not your field. You don't really know how to gauge like which one's a good company and which one's like a not so good company before you even try them. So first of all, like, did you ever get burned by like marketing companies before, lead gen companies before that didn't really like delivered on results? And if so, like, why have you decided to like still move forward with us when we first started to get to work together?
So short answer, yes, I have.
Yeah.
Won't go into it because those may be a couple long stories there, but yeah, I have. But prior to real estate, I was involved in traditional media, the radio industry, sales, and I learned a lot. It was great, but I found it was very hard to, feel good about selling traditional media to your average business. Yeah, the ones that have millions of dollars of budget a year and can be everywhere. Sure, that works. What's the ROI? I have no idea, and I bet they have no idea. And that's why digital marketing has very much intrigued me, because no matter what you're doing, you have the ability to track pretty much everything to see what's working, what's not. And that has always been huge to me. So that is the real reason why, knowing that, I wanted to continue on this journey and take some risk and talk to some people, and because it can work. But there's a lot of, people out there who pretend like they know what they're doing, or they did know what they're doing, but things change quick. And yeah, there's a lot of that out there. So you definitely have to do your due diligence. And I think with you guys having like quite a few happy clients that share their results, it's got to help with your credibility and with bringing on new clients.
Yeah. 100%. Now, just to get your opinion on this, I'll tell you mine afterwards, but a lot of realtors, before they actually can find their like marketing company that they work with and actually produces results, they're working with like different companies. It doesn't really work out, but in their mind, their market is unique, which is true. Every market is different, right? But they're like unsure about if a strategy that works in a different market will work in theirs. So first of all, do you think it's true? And second, how would you go about adapting a strategy to your market if you have any idea? Because like that's usually my job, but just to know your perspective on this.
Yeah, first of all, I wouldn't get too wrapped around that, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that. Like, I saw what you guys were doing and we basically copied it. Pretty much verbatim, and then adjusted it slightly to our market, right? Like, some realtors were or maybe still are in a market where majority of homes are selling above list price or way above list price, for example, right? And if that's not your market, then maybe you might want to tweak the words you're using a little bit in the ad depending on your market. But the good news is you know your market. You know it better than anybody else as a realtor. So you're just going to tweak things a little bit here and there. And the numbers are going to tell you. Like, if it's not working as well as it should be, the numbers are going to tell you. And then you're going to be able to go, okay, well, maybe that makes sense because, in our market, they're a little more laid back, and therefore maybe we need to tune things back a little bit with what we're seeing. Or I'm in an ultra high competitive market and people are used to being sold a little more and want that. And then you can kind of change it from there. But we're always looking at the numbers, and some of the tactics are a little bit more aggressive, but I'm okay with that. Like, I find a lot of realtors are afraid, well, I'm going to ruin my reputation if I'm too aggressive on video. Well, I don't know. I beg to differ. I think there's a lot of people that appreciate that and want their realtor to be a little bit more aggressive and want somebody who cares versus somebody who's just kind of like there, right? So
yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a preconceived, misconception or whatever that some realtors have because of something they were told 5 or 10 years ago, or because of how they grew up or whatever. And, you got to adjust a little bit for your market. But it goes back to the numbers. Is it working? Are you getting appointments with people that are looking to sell their house or not?
Exactly. And then from there, we can just reverse engineer why is that if it's not the case. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. Basically, marketing, psychology, sales, it's all the same thing. If you understand the principles behind them, then you can just apply the same skills in every industry. Like you said, if you know know your market, then if you work with someone like me that actually knows like the back end of like YouTube ads and all that and all these systems, then it's just like putting both together basically and making everything work. So let's break down the numbers basically. I think looking at the numbers just before this interview, basically you guys spent like, you know, close to like $5,000 to be exact, like $4,900 on ads. I believe so far we've got like 62 leads, 19 appointments, most of them being like appointments in person, if I'm not mistaken, and some of them also on the phone. And then I think out of the 19 listing appointments, 12 of them you guys actually like talked to, had a conversation with either like on the phone or you met them in person. And then 2 listings, 1 sold so far that might actually have been double-ended, which is like either 6,000 in GCI or 12,000 if we double-ended it. So basically a bit more than 2x ROI within the time frame of like that first 2 months. And then we also have more opportunities lined up for 2023, right? For next year. Because obviously right now, just so you guys know, like we're recording this, it's like the 22nd or 23rd. Yeah, 22nd of December 2022. So we're like right in the holidays. You guys are still getting leads right now, still getting like appointments, and you guys have like some of them that are lined up for 2023, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm excited to see is, for that ROI to increase in the new year.
Awesome. So would you recommend basically people still advertise during this time, like during Christmas and the new year?
Yeah, like don't do it in my market because I want all the business. Just kidding. But no, I mean, I think so. Like, you know, because real estate is really like farming in a sense, in that you plant the seeds and then the plant grows and you harvest months later. So I think people should be planting their seeds right now. I think it's prime time to be doing that in the winter before the the spring market.
Yeah, the same mentality that I have. So what would you say to like someone who is like on the fence of joining our program?
I mean, based on our experience, they shouldn't be on the fence. They should just do it. It's been a positive one. I think, anytime you make an investment in anything, right? Advertising, marketing, business, real estate, there's always going to be risk. I say that with a grain of salt because I think there's certain investments out there that are extremely low risk. And I think this is probably one of them. I mean, from what I can see with us, like we're already, getting our money back, and I'm extremely confident that in the near future, we'll be getting a strong ROI. And so, I mean, based on our actual results, I would say to them, there's no reason to be on the fence. Do it.
Yeah, give it a shot. All right, cool. So to finish up the interview, Nigel, what are like the next steps or some of the next milestones for you in your business?
For sure. Well, with regards to what we're working on, you and I, and I mean, I think it's going. We're in another market, so we're going to be doing this into our other market that we're in, and basically just like copying it, making a couple little tweaks and doing that. But for me, we essentially like 8 years ago went from 2 people who did a lot of real estate deals to 5, and now about 20 realtors. And yeah, I think the sky's the limit, like in our local market here. And my focus over the last several years and putting it into 5th gear here now is to help other realtors. I'm extremely confident that we can double a realtor's deals within 12 months. So
nice.
If there's anybody who's looking for that or who wants that, I'm here to help. And we have some pretty cool plans to get into other markets as well and across the country.
Nice. Big goals. I love it. So what's the best way for people to reach out if they want to learn more about you and what you got?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. My name, Nigel Nolin. I think it's right there. NIGELNOLIN is one of the best spots. Any social media, really, Facebook. Yeah, that's probably the best way. It's just through social media. But if you Google me, there's phone numbers, there's emails. Not hard to find.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Thanks a lot for the interview, Nigel. Appreciate it.
Likewise, Michael.